Oh, hey Sam, what's up?
Hey.
Climb this whole mountain just to tell you guys about stock footage. Boom. So in this video, we're going to tell you guys what stock footage is, how to create a world with it, stock elements for effects, After Effects templates.
We're also going to talk about how to sell your own stock footage if you're making it, but if you need it, like most of us do, we're going to be giving away a ton of free stock footage elements at the end of this video with the help of our friends from Pond5's stock footage mega database.
So let's say you're filming a Lord of the Rings parody in Iowa, where it's all just plains,
And you don't have a camera.
and you're wondering, how do I establish this epic scenery? But that's where something like stock footage comes into play. Also, pretty much every TV show where they're like, here we are in Washington, D.C. Basically, that's just stock footage of like the White House, and it cuts to some studio here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, nobody shoots in Washington, D.C. No one shoots in Chicago.
Anyways, you guys are probably wondering, how can I use the stock footage? What should I be looking for? And you guys are also probably wondering, what about stock footage for effects? So first off, we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about stock footage for like telling a story, where you use like scenery or something like that, and how to go about using that as best as possible.
For instance, in our Assassin's Creed 4 video, we actually show a giant establishing shot of the vessel sailing through the water. And what that does is it just gives people a sense of perspective as to where all this stuff is happening. We're seeing one boat on the ocean, and then when we cut the inside the boat, it's a totally different ship. So it really doesn't matter what it looks like from the inside and the outside, and if that's a different size or whatever. We could have easily replaced that opening shot with pretty much any boat, any piece of footage we wanted, and it would have worked fine.
We actually went through and did a bunch of research, seeing what was already out there to see if there's already a cooler shot of a pirate ship like sailing along. Because if it's out there, why not? The stock footage takes place of those big, wide establishing shots where somebody else has already gone to some special location and done that shot for you. So it can be really useful in a really cool way and easy way to make your films look really big and epic.
The most common type of stock footage that we use, and most likely you guys use, is stock footage for effects. I'm talking muzzle flashes, bullet hits, smoke, fire. Obviously, you want a high resolution image. You want to make sure it's at a good frame rate, either 24 for your stuff. You don't want to get PAL footage or 30 frames per second stuff. You also want to make sure that the footage is exposed properly for the shot you're going to be doing. This comes into play mostly when doing fire and muzzle flashes. Fire during the daytime versus fire at night, and how you're exposing looks totally different. At night it's really bright, really yellow, really orange. In the daytime it's very faint actually compared to everything else. Obviously you don't want your stock footage to be clipping the edges of frame, because that makes it pretty much unusable when you see the little box of form on screen. One thing that most people typically miss though is whether their stock footage elements come with alpha channels or not. And this has a big effect when you're trying to composite it. Typically with fire or things like that, you can use a composite mode like screen to just put it on your footage and make it look natural. But a couple other things like dust and blood and things like that, those require like an alpha channel because they're solid. It's not like some sort of color effect that you're trying to overlay onto your image. However, if you find that one piece of footage that works perfectly, looks great, it's everything you need, but it doesn't have alpha channels, it's okay, because you can actually generate alpha channels by yourself in After Effects. And if you don't know how to do that, our bullet hits tutorial from 2 years back, that describes exactly how to generate alpha channels for footage that doesn't have any. Another thing you'll notice on some effects footage is that some comes on a black background, which is good, and some comes on a green or blue background, which is bad. It's actually kind of a misguided attempt to generate alpha channels on that stock footage. When you're dealing with lots of little particles, liquid, stuff like that, you don't want that because you have motion blur, it comes into the edges and stuff like that. Get the stuff on the black backgrounds, it'll look better later, trust me.
Let's talk about After Effects templates. What are these? What are these magical things called After Effects templates? Some people online have gone forth and built amazing After Effects project files where literally all you have to do is open it up and you select the box and you can type in any text you want and you'll have a magnificent logo already animated with a bunch of cool effects. They're very, very useful to save you a bunch of time. For example, if you've seen the video Googly Eyes, we use an After Effects template for the news opening. It's also really useful for learning how other people have actually done these things. So for example, if you see an After Effects template that has a really cool element, you can actually download that template and take a look at how it's all built. It's all right there. It's just an After Effects file. Those things can be really useful and they can save you a bunch of time. But did you guys also know that you can sell your footage to make some money yourself?
Think about what people need and don't have and what you have access to that you can share. Let's say you have a bunch of guns. Film your guns shooting, because a lot of people don't have guns and they can't get their cool muzzle flashes. Let's say you live in a Buddhist temple. Make stock footage of that, because most people don't have access to a freaking Buddhist temple.
It's an easy way to make some money on the side with your film skills. Alright guys, we've been talking about stock footage a whole bunch here, but you guys don't have any stock footage yet to do any of this stuff with. Well, guess what? We have a bunch of free stock footage lined up for you guys to use. We got mountains, we got fire, we got muzzle flashes. We met some guys from Pond 5, which is a stock footage website. We told them about this idea. So we picked out 50 clips of a bunch of cool stuff that you guys can use for free. It's sweet. Go check it out at pond5.com/Sam and Nico. Also, if you guys want to sell your stuff like we were talking about, they actually have one of the best deals around for creators in terms of a revenue split.
We're going to be downloading some of it too and using it in our videos, so you should too.
You guys will be like, wait a minute. They already used that shot of a mountain. I can't use that shot of a mountain.
No, but they have like bullet hits and smoke and stuff. So like we use like the same one for every video over and over again. It's just like Smoker 16, except we have a Smoker 17 now that we just keep using.
There's probably a link in the description. If there's not one, you can already click on somewhere. Pond5.com/Sam Nico. We'll see you guys next week in another video talking about cool stuff.
Yep. We gotta go work on Tether. See ya.
Oh yeah.